So Star Wars The Acolyte show, the highly anticipated upcoming Star Wars show that's releasing in just over a week now, at June 4th, has some news. Some big news, actually. A lot of people got to see the first 2 episodes, or sometimes more, early. And these are critics. So we're going to be going over some of the critics' reviews of this show so far. Now, the first review is coming from Germain Lucier. Says, beholden to nothing except being Star Wars, The Acolyte soars. It's an interesting, fun, character-driven mystery with real stakes that you care about, bolstered by all the fixings that make it Star Wars. Saw the first 2 episodes and loved them. So it seems like most of these critics got to see the first 2 episodes. Some actually got to see more, as you'll see coming up. Comic Books Jamie Jirac says, I've waited so long for The Acolyte, and I cannot believe how much it's living up to my expectations. I loved the first 2 episodes. It's so exciting to see a new, old era explored in live action. Leslie Headland did a dynamite job fleshing out these characters. I'm obsessed. So this one is actually calling out Leslie Headland for how good of a job she did. Now, Leslie Headland's the creator. She said some interesting things about Star Wars and George Lucas, which we've covered before. So based on my first impressions of her, I really didn't like her based off some of the things she said. I also pointed out in one of my videos how The Acolyte, basically the whole premise is probably breaking canon, but I guess we shouldn't talk about that right now, not in this video. Let's go to the next review. The movie podcast Anthony Gagliardi says 4 episodes, so he got to watch 4 episodes of the show. 4 episodes into Star Wars The Acolyte, and it's a mixed experience. The lore hints at KOTOR potential, yet the pacing occasionally lags. While the fight scenes are engaging, they often feel misplaced. Hoping to see stronger performances and a clearer narrative direction soon. Now that's interesting. That's a bad review. Even though it says mixed, kind of seems like he didn't like anything. He calls it the pacing is rough and the fight scenes feel misplaced. Yeah, I saw that in the trailer. The fight scenes seemed odd. And hoping to see stronger performances in a clearer narrative direction soon. So narrative direction means basically he doesn't even understand what the story's trying to portray. He doesn't understand where they're going with it. And he got to watch 4 episodes of the show. So that's bad. If he doesn't even know where they're going with this show, that's something we need to keep in mind. Screen Rant's Joe Deke Lemire, probably messed up some of these names. Star Wars The Acolyte gives me Kill Bill vibes. Every episode left me wanting more in a good way. We've seen so much about the fall of the Jedi, but this show explores what the Jedi were like during peacetime, which is quite fascinating. Amanda Stenberg is outstanding. So that's a review. Now from Collider's Perry Nemiroff says, I've seen 4 episodes, so this is another 4 episode review. I've seen 4 episodes of The Acolyte. Thus far, it's a very big winner. The cast of characters, the heavy emphasis on practical effects, the stunts, how they're exploring what it means to be a Force user, and how the Jedi Order operates. It's all working quite well for me. So I liked part of that review, and I was concerned for part of the review. Now, exploring what it means to be a Force user and how the Jedi Order operates is really interesting to me. I really want to know more about it. The prequels did a good job. I want to learn more because of how good the prequels did. So I like that. Only concerning thing, it doesn't have to be concerning, but just kind of gave me a little concern, is the heavy emphasis on practical effects. See, J.J. Abrams went to these crazy extents to make it all practical effects because he loved the New Hope so much and Empire so much. He didn't want it to be like the prequels. He didn't want all the CGI. So this says the heavy emphasis on practical effects. So I wonder if there's not a lot of CGI. Again, for some reason, Disney seems to be scared of the prequels. I don't know. And then, okay, she's talking about some actor in the show, so we're gonna skip that part. Screen Rant's Caitlin Terrell says, The Acolyte is fantastic. It captures everything that is great about classic Star Wars while feeling new and unique. The fight scenes are phenomenal, and the visuals are stunning, with an intriguing mystery and a top-notch cast. This is a show every Star Wars fan needs to watch. So far we only had one bad review. Now, Slash Films' Peter Scaretta says, saw the first 2 episodes of The Acolyte. I loved that it felt so much like classic Star Wars, while at the same time feeling new, fresh, and different from anything we've seen before. The action felt movie level, so excited to see more. Another positive review. Laughing Place says, The Acolyte is a blast, a gripping noir-style murder mystery in a galaxy far, far away, with the Jedi as space detectives. So much world building and fleshing out mythology already in the first 2 episodes, punctuated by some pretty kick-butt fight sequences. So, I think what they're going to do is some Jedi is going to get killed by one of these, like, Dark Sith or whatever, and then they're going to be like, oh, what happened to that Jedi? They went missing. And then they're going to send Jedi to investigate, because it calls it, this person said, a murder mystery in Star Wars, so that's probably what it's going to be like. Some Jedi goes missing, they try to find out what happened. Vault Comics F.J. DeSanto says, the first 2 episodes of The Acolyte are a Star Wars homage to classic Shaw Brothers movies, while also opening new doors to the larger universe. The characters are fun, the action is great. This show has a lot of promise, super excited to see where it goes. So that's the last review we're looking at in this video, and it's really interesting that only one person pointed out the flaws, and it is a little concerning because I'm sure all of these people, I'm assuming all these people had some issue with the show, but for some reason they never say their problems, they just talk about what they like. I mean, they've done this for every Star Wars show, is like the reviews are always so positive, and then you watch the show and you're like, I don't know. But that one review was concerning. They pointed out a lot of issues they had with the show, and they said, they had some issues. So it says, called it a mixed experience, and if it was actually a mixed experience, or like they liked it more than they didn't like it, they would just say it's good. But if they're calling it a mixed experience, I think that means they don't like it. So they say the lore hints at KOTOR potential. It's my favorite Star Wars game of all time. So that makes me a little hopeful, but the pacing occasionally lags. This is a big problem with Mandalorian Season 3 and the Ahsoka show. The pacing is so bad. It gets so boring. Some moments are so slow. It's rough. While the fight scenes are engaging, they often feel misplaced. So that means like people are just fighting. Why are they fighting? I don't know. Then it says, hoping to see stronger performances. I think that's interesting because everyone else talked about how good the acting was. I think that's very interesting. In a clearer narrative direction, like I said, that's very concerning because that means that they don't even really know what the show's about. So that wraps up 10 reviews for The Acolyte. See ya.
Days are gonna get better. I'm so happy. The carbon